Hey, everybody. This is Chris, and this is this week's What Do You Want Out of Life? Um, I am here today, and today I want to talk about finding the fulfilling place where you go to be able to say, like, I love my life, I love what I'm doing, I love what my life gives back to me, I love the way I interact with other people. I just love things. And when you think about what you want out of life, there's so many different ways to answer that question. So, do we want a fulfilling career? Do we want meaningful relationships? Do we want to live with, sorry, I am looking at notes, so yeah, bear with me. Do we want to live with purpose? And all of those things are super, super important. So I guess the main thing to think about when you're looking at what do you want out of life is, what are the activities in your world that bring you happiness to your core being? Is it the job that you go to every day? Is it knowing that you landed in a workplace that uses all of your talents and strengths, a place where you wake up in the morning and you feel excited to go to that place because it's amazing and you have best friends there and you do work that makes sense for you and you love your boss and all of those things? We don't always land where we want with our careers and our vocations, and that happens for a dozen different reasons. We may have gone to college with the intent on being this thing, and then we got into part of the courses that led us to this thing and realized that we hate it. So example, I this person's going to college because they want to be a doctor, but they get to organic chemistry and they're like, I can't do this. This is not going to work for me. So it's those types of situations that you put in your head, like, this is what I want to be when I grow up. And then you start to get a taste of that and you're like, ooh, gross. This is not what I want at all. There's those opportunities, options. Then there's you graduate from college, you get the career that you think you want, and then you're working your way into that career, and suddenly you're like, oh no, this is not what I thought it was at all. And I picture law being like that, although I know for some people a career in law is really amazing. I just know that I said once to my dad, like, I think I want to go to law school. And he didn't let it go for about 2 years, and it took me a while to tell him, like, I was just thinking that because I really liked this episode of Law and Order and thought, like, yeah, maybe I can do that, but yeah, no. um and then there's the careers that you fall into because something happened in your life, you made a connection with somebody, um and that person told you, A, you'll be really good at this, or they said, B, this is something that you should think about. And for those of us that work in higher education, I can for sure tell you that it's the former. So we lived in a residence hall, we were involved in a student group, we were on an intramural team, a sports team, whatever. But along the way, being involved in that thing, the person that was older than us, the person that was our advisor or our supervisor, said, you have skills and talents that would lend you very easily to be able to work in this field. That is definitely how I found my career in higher education. And it's honestly the way a lot of people find their ways into some careers. They begin to do a thing and they realize, I can do this and get paid. So along that way, I think sometimes we get stuck into believing that because that is the career that we've chosen, that that's the only thing that we can do for the rest of our lives. And that is absolutely positively not true, because we have unique skills and talents that come very naturally to us that lend themselves to doing other things. So just because you went to school to be a teacher, you got a degree in education and you started teaching, doesn't mean that all you can do is teach. Because as we work our way through these careers and these vocations, we gain additional skills through that work that we do. And we also gain those skills and those interests through the people that we associate ourselves with and or the activities we participate in. So here's an example. I currently work in higher education still, and I work for a nonprofit community college foundation. And I knew nothing about the nonprofit world coming into this job, but I had other translatable skills that allowed me, God, thank you, Lord, able to fall into this field and to start doing this job. So from that, my husband and I after I'd been here for a few years, decided to start a nonprofit US Master Swim team. So now here are these skills on the nonprofit world that I had been doing in my day job that I can take and move into a really successful, fun side hustle that I get to do with my spouse. So those are just examples of how things that we learn in our vocations kind of weave their way into other aspects of our life, should we choose for that to happen. So what do you want out of life? You want a meaningful career? Do you want special relationships? Do you want to feel that you have a sense of purpose? You can have all of these things. It's just that you have to be super duper honest with yourself about the things you're good at, the things you enjoy doing, and the way that you show up in the world. Because if you want to be president of the United States, but you're a massive introvert and the thought of speaking on a stage frightens the holy crap out of you, then you have to rethink how you're showing up in the world, because chances are, without a comfortable ability to speak in front of other people, you're not going to be a successful president of the United States. That's a very severe example. Yeah, because you don't just wake up and say, I'm going to be the president. Like, people have to elect you, but that's beside the point. So thinking in terms of where your strengths and talents lie and how you use them, and really, really seriously, how you show up every day doing those things. And that's really, really mega important. Um, so yeah, that's that thought for today. Now, the next thing that I wanted to share regarding what do you want out of life, and that has to do with the concept of making a living, and how are we making a living so that we can enjoy our life. Now, there's some of us that bury ourselves in work and we basically live to work. Either we love our job so much, we just dive into it and that job becomes our persona, or because we don't have the self-control to say, I want something different, we bury ourselves into work because we don't really know what else to do, or we don't know how to stand up and advocate for ourselves so that we have time to do other things that we enjoy. That will be a topic of another, what do you want out of life? But there are others of us who want to work so that we can live. And what what this brings up for me is why I think it's super important for everybody to have a side hustle, or at the very least multiple streams of income, because in the current environment that we live and work in, there's just a lot of uncertainty out there. We're getting over the hump of a global pandemic, but in the United States, we're dealing with a lot of inflation right now. We're dealing with a country that is kind of moving into a great resignation over the notion of, like, most of us, a lot of us worked for more than a year out of our homes. Some of us really jived with that ability, and some of us were thinking, like, I can't stand this if I can't be around another human person for 5 minutes. So but anyway, there's so much uncertainty right now, and I think it's safe to say there are people on this planet who have a good amount of job security, but in the grand scheme of things, if you are going to work until you're 80 years old, or until you drop dead at your place of business, to know that you want to be able to do meaningful work until you can successfully raise your hand and say, I'm ready to retire, and not necessarily retire, but move on and do other things, and live a life full of travel and fun and adventure and all of those things. But at the same token, a lot of us want to do that now. And having a side hustle is a really, really important thing to have, to allow yourselves to do that. Having multiple streams of income allows for you to have a backup plan in the event that something happens with that vocation that you've chosen, whether you love it or you hate it, or you're seeking something else. Regardless, that's really important. Another reason people dive into having a side hustle is because they do want to remove themselves from that initial career that they've built, because it's not serving them anymore. Another reason is we have skills and talents that are not being utilized at our day job, and those come to us so naturally that we have to use them somehow. And so choosing a side hustle that allows us to use those things is so important. And I really think if we're not utilizing those strengths and talents on a daily basis, we're wasting our gift to the world. We're wasting what we have been given through our DNA, through our natural upbringing, through our nature versus nurture, through our own choice of skill sets and experiences. Those are what have been given to us to change the world, and we need to use them. And if we're not using them, we're wasting them. And when we're wasting them, that's just terrible. I hate waste. Waste is a terrible thing. So, with all that said, I want to share with you that starting a side hustle can be scary, and you don't have to do it alone. And I've kind of sort of given myself some permission and some responsibility into helping people figure out a way to create a side hustle to fulfill that part of their life where there's a void, either in the utilizing of strengths and talents, needing to make some additional funds, needing to move forward in your life into a different vocation or career, or just telling yourself, like, I don't want to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life, and I want to retire early and go do amazing things with my friends and family. So, with that being said, I would love to talk to you individually and get to know what your needs are in the realm of landing yourself a side hustle that feels fun and comfortable, something that doesn't take a lot of time to do. The side hustles that I've planted myself in, I can do in an hour a day, and some I can do even less than time than that. So believe you me, guys, there are opportunities everywhere, whether you fall into one that's already been created and it's kind of in a box and ready for you to just push play and get rolling, or if the back of your mind has some amazing business concept idea and you want to create it and be the first person to do this. I mean, that's how things like Uber and Instacart were created. And things like, I don't want to say Facebook's not a good example. Oh my gosh, like Shalene Johnson, her marketing courses, Ramit Sethi and his book on I Will Teach You to Be Rich, or Pat Flynn, is that his name? Pat Flynn, who talks about super fans and building your audience. That's why these people have such amazing followings, is that they came up with a niche, something that came naturally to them and felt important to them and felt like they had a message they wanted to share with the world. And that, my friends, is what a side hustle is all about. So I want to ask you, what do you want out of life? I'm really dying to know what is triggering in your head. And then the second question that I have for you is, how can I help you get there? Because I think I would really love to be that person for you. So thanks for tuning in to this week's What Do You Want Out of Life? I record these sessions, host these sessions through my Facebook group, but they are on Zoom. So you do have to pre-register for them. And I will put information about those in the comments somewhere. I don't know where this is going to land, if I'm just going to upload it to Facebook or put it on my YouTube channel, but wherever it is, you'll be able to find information about it. So thanks for being here today to listen to What Do You Want Out of Life? And I'll see you at the next one.